welcome to this deep dive.
Yeah.
Where we're going to be looking at something that, a lot of us, I think about all the time, which is how can technology really make a difference when it comes to education?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to be talking today about Evaluation Spark, which is a platform designed to help teachers really bring that excitement and that spark
That's right.
back into both teaching and learning.
Absolutely. And it's such a relevant topic today. Education is changing so rapidly. We've got new curriculum models all over the place. And, teachers are really looking for ways to help them navigate this new landscape that we're in.
Right. And so we're going to kind of take you beyond, I guess, some of the buzzwords and really get into how Evaluation Spark is empowering those teachers and helping engage students.
That's it.
So let's just imagine for a minute, you're a teacher and you're facing this brand new curriculum.
Right.
How do you even begin
it's tough
to create assessments that align with all of those changes?
It can be so overwhelming.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that Evaluation Spark can help with.
Yeah.
Puts the teachers in the driver's seat.
Okay.
They can build their own custom question banks. They can design assessments.
Yeah.
And even create interactive games that perfectly fit that curriculum.
So instead of scrambling to catch up, they can get ahead of the curve with this. But what about the students? Because you say, assessment curriculum changes.
Yeah.
That doesn't exactly scream like fun and engaging, right?
Well, and that's where Evaluation Spark can help with that too. It uses gamification to make learning a lot more engaging. We're not just talking about random games, but games that are specifically designed to reinforce the learning goals that are tied to the curriculum.
So give me an example.
Sure.
Like, how does a game help a student learn history?
Yeah.
Or geography?
So one example would be a game called Country Trivia Tracker.
Okay.
And it's interactive. It uses maps.
Okay.
Where the students answer questions. And when they answer questions correctly, they get to claim territory on the map.
I like that.
So it's fantastic for learning geography.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Of course.
But you can actually use it creatively for other subjects.
So while they're playing and strategizing, trying to win the map, they're also absorbing those historical facts.
That's right.
Or learning about cultures or, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
It's a really neat way to sneak in that learning while they're having fun.
I like it.
And remember, when you're teaching sometimes, you have a student who's just not grasping a concept.
Oh, yeah.
That can be so frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
So Evaluation Spark tries to turn that around by making even the challenging topics more accessible.
Okay.
You can adjust the difficulty of the questions.
Okay.
You can give them instant feedback and even track their progress.
Right.
All within the platform.
That brings up something I was thinking about, which is personalized learning. How do we personalize something that's as structured as a set curriculum?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of a contradiction?
Well, it's all about flexibility.
Okay.
So with Evaluation Spark, teachers can tailor the learning to meet individual needs.
Okay.
So a student who's excelling might get more challenging questions.
Okay.
And a student who is struggling can get extra support and practice.
It's like having a personal tutor for every student.
Exactly.
That sounds amazing, but, let's be realistic here. New curriculums mean a lot more work for teachers.
That's right.
Prepping the lessons, creating the new assessments, grading all of that. It's a lot.
It's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
But Evaluation Spark is designed to make all that easier.
Okay.
It streamlines everything. So it's got tools that make creating and organizing and even grading super efficient.
Yeah.
And then all that real-time feedback and the performance tracking, that frees up the teacher's time.
Okay.
So they can focus on teaching.
That makes sense.
Right.
I like that.
Exactly.
I was also thinking about, practical realities.
Yeah.
Time is always a factor.
Oh, for sure.
And so is connecting with other teachers.
Absolutely.
We're going through the same thing.
Right.
So is there a way
that teachers can support each other?
Well, that's one of the things that's great about Evaluation Spark.
Okay.
It encourages collaboration. So teachers can share resources.
Yeah.
They can share questions. They can share best practices.
So it's almost like
It is.
a virtual teacher's lounge.
Exactly.
Where everyone's swapping ideas.
That's right.
You mentioned data earlier, and I think we should dive into that a bit more.
Okay.
Because these new curriculum models, it's all about outcomes-based learning.
Right.
So that means we need to see if students are actually progressing toward
Just so important.
those outcomes.
Yes.
And so that's where those reports come in.
That's right.
The performance reports.
Yeah, those detailed analytics.
You can see where the kids are excelling.
Exactly.
Where they might need extra help.
More support.
So for instance, a teacher could see that their class aced
questions about fractions, but they struggled with long division.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's so valuable for teachers because then they can see where those knowledge gaps are and adjust their teaching accordingly.
This is really starting to paint a picture for me of how Evaluation Spark works.
Yeah.
So we've talked about, the flexibility, the engaging classrooms, the inclusive classrooms, the data, all of that.
Absolutely.
But what does this really mean for the future of education?
That's a great question.
What's the big picture?
And one that we'll explore more as we go.
Okay.
But it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned diving deeper into the features.
Yeah.
And I'm particularly curious about those game formats.
Sorry, yeah.
What are they actually like? How do teachers use these in the classroom?
Well, one of the things that's great about Evaluation Spark is it's not about reinventing the wheel.
Okay.
It's taking those classic game show formats that we all know and love and giving teachers the tools to make them educational.
So they're not starting from scratch?
No, they don't have to start from scratch.
Okay, good.
That's
a relief.
Yeah.
What are some examples?
Okay, so for example, you've probably heard of Knowledge Showdown.
Yes.
So that's the head-to-head quiz model.
Right.
But instead of random trivia, the teachers can plug in their own curriculum-aligned questions.
I see.
So the students compete against each other. They earn points for correct answers.
Way more engaging than a worksheet.
Much more engaging than just a standard review.
I can already hear the gasps and cheers in the classroom.
It's exciting.
But what about teachers who aren't super tech savvy? That's right.
Is this platform user-friendly?
That was a really important consideration in the design. So it's very intuitive.
Okay.
Even for teachers who maybe aren't comfortable with technology. The interface is drag and drop.
Okay.
For creating the games. For building the assessments. For organizing the questions.
Okay.
And there are templates.
Okay.
And preloaded content.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To help them get started.
So it really is designed to support them.
It is
not overwhelm them.
Yeah.
How does it help with like the day-to-day tasks of assessment?
All right.
Like all the grading and the feedback.
Right. So let's say you've created a quiz using Evaluation Spark.
Okay.
Students can take it digitally.
Yeah.
It's automatically graded.
Okay.
It tracks their scores.
Yeah.
And even provides individualized feedback.
Oh, wow.
Based on the answers they got wrong.
With individualized feedback based on wrong answers.
Yeah. Okay. Because most digital quizzes I've seen, they just tell you if you're right or wrong.
Right.
But this sounds like it helps students learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's really cool.
Okay.
So the teachers can set it up to offer hints or direct students to specific resources.
Yeah.
Or even suggest follow-up activities based on what they need to work on.
So it's not just about getting a grade.
Exactly.
It's actually about using it as a tool.
It's part of the learning process.
Okay.
Assessment is part of the learning process.
I like it. I'm really starting to see how these features work together to create like a powerful experience.
Right. And don't forget about the data.
Oh, yeah.
Those performance reports we talked about, they go beyond just the overall scores.
Right.
Teachers can drill down and see how individual students are doing.
Okay.
How the whole class is doing on specific concepts or learning objectives.
So they could see that the class aced questions about exact revolution, but struggled with the causes of the Civil War.
So exactly. And then they can use that information to plan
the next lesson.
Yeah.
Okay.
To address those gaps.
So it all comes back around.
It does.
And, we talked about teachers supporting each other.
Yes.
The virtual teachers lounge.
Right.
How does that work within Evaluation Spark?
So let's say you're a teacher and you've created this fantastic quiz on the solar system. You can share that quiz with other teachers.
Oh, I like that.
In your school or district.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're looking for inspiration for a game-based activity.
Yeah.
You could search the platform.
Okay.
See what other teachers are doing.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really a win-win for everyone.
It sounds like a game changer for education.
I think it has the potential.
Yeah. It's not just individual classroom.
It's the whole ecosystem.
You mentioned making education more equitable. I think that's...
And that's so important.
Really important.
We need to make sure that every student, regardless of their background or learning style, has the opportunity to succeed.
How does Evaluation Spark?
Think about the traditional model of education, where everybody gets the same instruction, the same assessments, regardless of their needs.
It's like that one-size-fits-all.
A one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
And it leaves a lot of kids behind.
It leaves students behind.
And Evaluation Spark aims to change that by.
By giving teachers the tools to personalize the learning.
Right.
So they can meet students where they are and give them that support they need.
So it's not just about better grades?
No, it's not.
It's a shift in how they experience learning.
Absolutely.
And that's going to have an impact beyond classroom, too.
Think about a classroom where every student feels seen and heard, challenged at their level.
Right.
That's the kind of environment that fosters a love of learning.
Right, not just a fear of failing.
Exactly.
That's huge.
It is.
And so if the students are more engaged and more invested, won't that have a positive impact on...
Absolutely. Yeah, when teachers see their students thriving and making progress, it reignites their own passion for teaching.
I can see that.
It really does.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got personalized learning. We've got engaged students, data for the teachers, collaborative platform.
It all works together.
Yeah. But let's zoom out even further.
Okay.
What kind of impact could this have on the whole education system?
If we have tools like Evaluation Spark that are giving teachers real-time insights into student learning, we can start to see trends and patterns across schools and districts.
Yeah.
And then we can see what's working, what's not, and make better decisions.
About curriculum and
about curriculum development.
Yeah.
Resource allocation.
Okay.
Teacher training.
So it's really about a systemic...
It is.
A systemic shift.
Toward a more responsive...
Effective.
And effective... education system.
And more equitable.
And more equitable, yes.
For all students.
For all students.
I like it.
Think about how many students just cram for tests.
Oh, yeah.
And then they forget everything.
Right.
Evaluation Spark aims to change that by making sure they have a deeper understanding.
It's like moving away from learning for the test.
Exactly.
To learning for the love of learning.
That's what we want.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back to our listener for a minute.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who's hearing this for the first time?
I would say whether you're a teacher or an administrator, a parent, or just someone who cares about education.
Yeah.
Think about this.
Yeah.
If we can make learning more engaging, more insightful, and less about memorization, how would that change the way students approach learning?
How would it change the world?
How would it change the world?
That is a fantastic question to leave our listeners with.
Lots to think about.
And on that note, we have reached the end of our deep dive.
It has been a great discussion.
It really has.
I've enjoyed it.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Until next time, keep those minds curious.
Yes.
And never stop exploring.
Absolutely.
New ways to spark a love of learning.